Steve, before we get started, I got to ask you a real important question, okay? It's very important.
Uh-huh. Listening.
Will you be my little soda pop? Start the music!
You're coasting with Fine Time.
Hello, party people. Hello, K-pop people. Hello, demon people. It's your boy Dre, and I am here with my demon Steve.
You know, I can only blame this on one thing, Andre. The algorithm.
Our show is not popular enough to chase algorithms.
We're not, but I feel like at some point it was going to come up one way or the other.
Well, I mean...
So we might as well just do it on purpose.
Do you want to assign blame to me already?
No, I'm assigning it to the world around us.
Okay. Well, shit. We're here. We're really doing the K-pop Demon Hunters. So I guess a little background is necessary, just a tad. So typically when we do movies around here, it's something we both have like a vested interest in, right? This is not the case. Obviously, this time we are purposefully stepping outside of ourselves and we're taking on what has to be, Steve, this is the most popular movie this decade, right? So far, it has to be.
Easily.
In K-pop Demon Hunters.
Easily.
And hey, we're men of the people, all right? We keep our ear to the street and we want to know what's hot in these streets with said people.
Maybe we shouldn't have kept our ear so close to the street this time because I got kicked a few times while they were running towards the merch stand.
Oh my god! I bet there's got to be a pop-up store in the city, right? There has to be.
Oh, I'm sure they're about to set up something.
It's got to already exist. Also, so if you've joined me and Steve for movies before, and thank you if you have. We're not going to be doing this like our usual movie pods where we talk about the movie in sort of a timeline of events and like discuss stuff along the way because, Steve, I don't really think that's relevant here. I don't think that applies to K-pop Demon Hunters. This is so outside of us, and also, quite frankly, our actual opinion of the movie isn't really that important. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Because, mostly, I feel like we're here to absorb the phenomenon. You know, whether it's, good or bad in the traditional sense isn't really that interesting, I think.
And if we're being real, of the critiques I did try reading, it came off as very previous creative endeavorly, and I did not like that at all.
Really? Okay, do you want to start what have you seen from some reviews? Actually, that might be a good place to start. What do traditional critics think of this?
At best, it was well, it'll be good for your children to see the K-pop Demon Hunters, blah, blah, blah. Nothing too bad here. And at worst, it was maybe it should have been Korean Demon Hunters. I don't see why they had to be K-pop Demon Hunters.
Do people have no imagination? Why would anyone say that?
I don't know.
That's crazy. We're all here for the K-pop.
It's probably why we don't really have reviewers anymore. Why we don't have critics anymore.
Since Siskel and Ebert have kicked the bucket. I mean, I really...
They're gone.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's where do we do... Oh, Ebert would have loved this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Siskel would have not liked it. Thumbs down from him. Ebert would have liked this.
Yeah, it would have been one up, one down. Absolutely.
You know, something I've come to realize doing these movies with you, I align with Ebert a lot. Quite a bit. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I'm never sure where I really align half the time. I want to be Ebert, but I feel like I end up being Siskel half the time.
I mean, from my outsider perspective, I feel like you lean a little more Siskel, but you're not nearly as no fun as he is.
he was notably no fun.
Yeah, he would not get this at all. But yeah, Ebert, wherever you are, I hope you get to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. So yeah, since we know our audience, we are men of the people, and most of you guys also are men of the people, mostly the same age as us. Most of us childless. Let's be real. We're going to guess that most of you don't know any more about K-pop Demon Hunters than we did before we watched this. So, Steve, why don't you give the people a quick primer?
Of course. K-pop Demon Hunters released in the time of antiquity, June 20th, 2025, on Netflix.
AD.
Yeah. It was helmed by Lego Ninjago and the storyboard lead, Maggie Kong, who wanted to make a film celebrating her Korean roots.
Are we to assume Maggie Kong is American then?
She's Korean American, yes.
Okay.
Formal production on the movie was announced in 2021 and went quiet until 2025 when it would appear as a Netflix exclusive. The nitty-gritty on all that we can address in a bit, but like we keep saying, it's a phenomenon currently underway.
It sure is.
The sing-along edit of the movie made some okay cash itself, $18 to $19 million across 1,700 theaters in the US and Canada. I mean, that's not bad considering we have K-pop Demon Hunters at home is a real thing you could say to your children.
That's not only a real thing, you can watch the sing-along versions on Netflix if you want. So,
and they still made the money in theaters.
They even have, so the phenomenon over the last decade of lyrics videos. They don't want to make a real music video because we don't do that anymore. So it's like, here is a fancy animation with all the lyrics to the song. So it's like a video, but not really. It's like word art. They even have all those for K-pop Demon Hunters.
Sure.
Yeah, it's wild. The reception of this has been nuts. I mean, we talked a little about the critical reception, but commercially and with the people, this is the most watched movie in Netflix history.
In just months.
Let that sink the fuck in.
Most
Ever in Netflix history. That's crazy. And as of this recording, we're recording this on late October 2025. 4 of the songs from this movie are in the Billboard Top 10. 4! Steve. Okay, I get the charts don't mean what they used to in this streaming era because you can really take over the charts if Taylor Swift releases a new album like she did earlier this month. It's okay, here are these 7 Taylor songs. I get it, it's different now. Still though, 4 of songs from the same soundtrack in the Billboard Top 10, that still means something. That this is a legit phenomenon.
I mean, and that's for a movie soundtrack. I mean, yeah. That didn't happen when it did count. So,
jeez, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's the biggest soundtracks of our lifetime, The Lion King or something, or I'm trying to think of. I'm not trying to think of a Disney thing. I'm trying to think of a movie soundtrack that had popular Godzilla 98. That's probably not the biggest, but
I mean, if you asked me on the street, I would think Lion King's bigger than Godzilla 98, but
right. But I'm trying to think of something that had because Godzilla 98 had Rage Against the Machine and
that's right, it did.
Wallflowers and shit quote unquote real bands. That's what I mean. Anyway,
right.
How is this? So I've been really curious about this before we get started. Do you know how this is doing in Korea? South Korea. I wonder if this is an American phenomenon strictly, or if this is actually doing well there.
This took me some research because you know how it likes to do over there. It likes to combine your terms and throw you unrelated articles, but
yeah, it makes shit up now.
Yeah, thank you, AI.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I could piece together. It's a little confusing because, that worldwide most views ever is worldwide. It includes South Korea, but it's still well received in its home country. You read little articles around and there is demand there for a theatrical release, but here, it depends on Netflix playing ball with local cinemas. It was shown at the Busan International Film Festival in September, but, locals want something they can actually go to.
I can't believe. Look, I know the CEO of Netflix is such a hard ass about this because he thinks like I don't know what he thinks, but like the fact that we even got the sing along stuff in theaters is kind of a relentment from him. I don't know if that's a word. It is now relentment.
Sure.
Okay, and I don't know why he's like, you are just leaving money on the table at this point. You already have the most watched thing in your company's history. I don't think it hurts any to like release it to theaters and then people will come home and watch it some goddamn more.
I mean, something that happened before it hit theaters was on September 9th. They just shot up 1,200 drones and sold this light showcase of characters and other showpieces. Like you're going to do that, but you're not going to put it in theaters.
I'm sorry, they put light shows where?
In Seoul, South Korea.
Seoul, Korea. Okay, Seoul. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, come on, man. People want this shit.
And I can't get the Netflix chart, but I peeked on the Spotify chart for Korea. And while we're recording today, Golden, Soda Pop, and Your Idol songs from the movie are all hovering around that top 10.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I use Tidal, and yeah, it's all up on that too, for sure. Okay, did you know anything about K-pop Demon Hunters beforehand? Because I knew the only things I knew was I heard it was animated in Unreal Engine. Did you hear that? Because no, yeah, I heard they used Unreal Engine. Look, I don't know enough about animation, particularly 3D animation in this era for me to like determine something like that, but I don't know, why not, I guess.
Look, I'm going to be more basic bitch, and I'm just going to tell you that I know that the children love this thing. I know the niece that I know my niece. My niece is the children. See, I'm going to be nice. I'm not using the children to mean, our usual affectionate term for adults that are younger than us. The real children love this movie.
Like I talk about the children who could be asking for F-Zero or something.
It's me. I'm one of those children.
It's me. I'm children. I knew there was a song about soda pop. Okay, I did not know it was called Soda Pop, and it was that literal, but I knew something to do with soda pop. That's all I knew about the music.
I also saw T-shirts in places, and I'm trying to figure out how the heck they swung a merch deal that far in advance. But then I looked into that a bit. But you just go onto Netflix, and they're like, "Yeah, we got your T-shirts."
The merch here, man, it's got to be out of control. Can you? I mean, the school season kind of has been underway now. Like, can you imagine? Good God.
Well, just yesterday, as of yesterday, as we're recording, they finally signed off the toy rights to Mattel and Hasbro. Everything else they've been doing like in-house so far.
Oh my God.
It's been a bit slower.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the Nendoroids and like do we still make Funko Pops? I don't know.
Yeah, they still make Funko Pops.
Okay.
I don't know how those will do. I feel like those are falling out of favor, but we'll see them, I'm sure.
Finally. Did you have any expectations? Like, really? I mean, I know it sounds silly to ask that because it's like we're going so far outside of ourselves here. But honestly, what I expected was to hear some hot jams while having like a loose framework of a movie where it's kind of like, don't worry about it. Here's some more music. That's kind of what I expected from K-pop Demon Hunters. And Steve, I feel like I got something much better than that. I legitimately enjoyed the movie on its face.
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was going to expect either, but I'm like, man, with a name like K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm sure they're going to sing a lot through their feelings or through whatever the heck they're doing. Yep.
They sure did. But it was the amount. Well, we'll get into it, right? Well, shit. Let's just get into it right now, okay? Let's get into all the things we want to talk about regarding this movie. I think I want to just start at literally the very beginning where it said, Sony Pictures up front. I did not know this was a Sony movie. Did you know this?
I did know. I looked into this too. It's a little bit complicated. There was a article in Hollywood Reporter that said this, among a bunch of other movies, were part of a series of live action and animated projects that Netflix was given a sort of right of first refusal to for distribution rights in exchange for funding.
Okay.
And in this movie's case, a piece of the music rights as well. So they definitely fucked that up. But this was also back in 2021 where a bunch of the studio big shots were like, I don't think there's going to be movie theaters in 2025.
Isn't it fucking crazy how all these companies we're losing an entire like PS5 generation to an asshole who thought, oh, everyone's just going to be at home forever now. Well, okay, do you want to start there? I was going to save this for the end, but I feel like we should talk about it now. Do you think this movie would have been as successful as it was if it were a traditional theater release? Like Sony puts, because you know how Sony marketing muscle for their movies is great. They don't release that many movies a year, you know, so they really put their all into it. Like whether we wanted to watch Chappie or not, we knew about it, right? They made sure we knew. So I feel like the marketing would have been there, but would people have actually gone to the theater and seen this, Steve? I'm not sure. I'm not saying no, but I'm also not saying yes.
I will step in front of this train and give the bummer of an answer and say probably not. Or at least not like this, because I don't think they would have thrown that kind of marketing at K-pop Demon Hunters like they would have at something like Spider-Verse. Then you got to look at everything else that normally happens, like rollout and reception. Like you just said, now that it would be something that you would have to pay money to see, would Johnny moviegoer take his kids to see K-pop Demon Hunters if you're not doing additional research? And I think the answer to that for a lot of people is no. But before there was streaming, I'm sure this would have had a very long tail on video and DVD, and it would have definitely found a way on Netflix that way. And I'm sure it would have still been a hit in Korea. But I don't think we would have had this phenomenon we're looking at right now.
Animated movies in our lifetime, Steve, I feel outside of the Disney stuff, I'm discounting that. And I'm like the big, but you know, like the Prince of Egypt and shit like that. But even stuff like that, animated movies really honestly don't make that much money at the box office. It's always like home video, because like you go back and look at the box office receipts for like, I don't know, like an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie from the 80s or something like that, or like whatever. Those don't really take in any money, right? It's all about like, okay, we're going to release this at theater. Some kids will get to go, and then we'll sell 1 million VHSs over the next 15 years. I feel this like what was always the play since we've been alive.
I mean, that was definitely the play with Transformers 86, but that's not what this podcast is.
No, yeah, but I just feel like K-pop Demon Hunters would have been one of those. Now, obviously, you know, it would have sold some DVDs and Blu-rays, but, you know, obviously we're talking Netflix and other streaming platforms here. Well, anyway, do you want to start somewhere? I mean, obviously we're not doing this in any particular order, but do you just have any like salient point you want to sail?
I don't know. We could always start at the beginning. It was a very strong beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Where we're introduced to, I guess for lack of a better term, the rules of K-pop Demon Hunter-ing. Where it's like, we are going to pass this through musical trends throughout the ages.
Yep. Do you like how they introduce the characters via the fans in like 30 seconds? Oh, she's from America. She's raps and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Oh, she grew up, in a rich family and blah, blah, blah. You know, like so super fast. It's like, okay, get the shit rolling. Get the shit rolling. Maybe that's where we can start, because like, within 20 minutes, Steve, of runtime in this movie, we find out our ostensibly main character, Rumi, is part demon, or her dad's a demon, or something like that. She has the demon marks, just like the demons that they hunt. We find that out fast.
Yeah, we do. I don't know. I had some problems with this.
Are you gonna Siskel this movie now for us?
Man, I don't look. I guess since you walked me into this corner already, fine. Yes, we are. You just said this is the big focal point of the movie, or one of them anyway. We have to hide our half demon nature from everybody, especially the bandmates. Okay. On the surface, this isn't the worst plot point in the world. We did this with Frozen and Elsa however long ago already, and Let It Go was an anthem forever. Remember, some kids still can't let it go. Here's where some of that problem comes in. She and her guardian, who was a predecessor in the K-pop demon hunting family business, are so obsessed with hiding these marks that appear on her arms and face, but I really feel like that could have been written off as tattoos or face paint or even birthmarks until a moment happened. I guess I'm kind of infected with the Andre-itis between this and Sleepy Hollow, because I feel like the need to conceal her demonic side would have had more tension if it was based on her actually behaving demonically or having violent outbursts or something, as opposed to, oh no, your arms are showing. Tisk, tisk.
Steve, this movie is for 5-year-olds.
Yes, I know the movie's for 5-year-olds.
I don't I think they need to see it. I think they need to visually see the markings. Oh, that's like the demons that they just cut in half. By the way, kind of violent for PG, right? Just a little bit. They're like cutting them in half. I know it's like very glowy and fast, but like they're like chopping and slicing them up.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sense. I feel like it's almost fairly standard cartoon violence. We do some of that in the anime, those Japanese animes,
rated Y7 on Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing: we don't have kids, so I feel like this is okay for children, isn't it?
Oh no, I would let my kids watch this. I was just kind of surprised that, like, I don't know. We did watch Willow last year, 2 years ago, and that was very surprising for a PG.
Willow would be PG-13 today, but
yeah, exactly. But I'm not saying it's like that, but it was a bit violent. But I like that. That's good. I think, you know me, I think scary things for kids is good. And quite honestly, I thought like the demon entity in hell was pretty scary. It's like a big raging fire that's like speaking, sometimes kind of grows a face. That's kind of scary for kids, I think, in a good way.
You see, I want to say we've seen... Again, I want to say we've seen more, at least equally frightening, similar concepts in family movies, but even my more immediate go-to of Princess of the Frogs, Dr. Facilier, played by Keith David, man, we love him, grazing with the other side, being tempered with its own cartooniness and catchy tunes and all of that. I don't know. I guess that's what we do, right? When we have to deal with hell, we make it real colorful and cartoony and play a lot of fun music in the background, which I guess is okay. Which I guess is okay when hell is a human invention. Now, who said that?
What? Where? What? I think that is fine because it has a very lighthearted tone, and even down in hell, it's not the Black Cauldron down there. You know what I mean? It's still lighthearted enough. I guess
we got to make a boy band.
We sure do. Well, okay. Before I watched this movie, I knew I wanted to explore on this episode why K-pop caught on in America last decade in a way that J-pop never could. I feel like when we were coming up, Steve, we thought like maybe, as that kind of music started getting more and more traction here, anime started to become more and more popular. I think I was thinking like, man, there might become a time where this music is like mainstream popular here. And that just never happened.
I feel like there was an attempted push with when Kingdom Hearts had those tracks, but that didn't really.
They tried with Utada. Yeah, they did, but I mean, it was just never going to be that here, and I realize that now. And here's the thing: I don't know anything about K-pop. I've listened to very little K-pop. This movie is the most K-pop I've ever listened to in my life.
Oh, you too then. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't really go to this genre. But after watching this movie and listening to a couple other, things that are popular, like Blackpink, I listened to a couple of Blackpink songs, or I listened to a couple other songs from another group. The reason why K-pop broke through is no longer a mystery to me. It's very, very clear. Steve, and I get it, you're not the music guy. Me and Kevin are more into this shit, but even you, I think, get that like this shit is very analogous to American radio.
It slots right in. I think it did anyway.
It really does. I mean, it's very high octane beats, like the English lyrics, which there are much more of than I thought. And as I was watching this movie, I'm thinking like, okay, are they singing in English a lot because like it's an American movie or something? No, I think that's just how K-pop rolls.
I haven't obviously listened to too much other K-pop.
Right. But I mean, it's a mix, some lyrics are in Korean, some are in English, sometimes in the same song, very often in the same song. And so it's like very high octane beats, very direct English lyrics, and like legit rapping. That's not embarrassing. Right. So like, it's some real shit. Like Golden and Soda Pop are smash hits in America for a reason, and they deserve it.
Yeah, they're catchy. That's me being music. Woo!
Thank you. I appreciate the help on the air. Maybe I don't even. It's since that response, that all that garnered that response, I'm gonna go forward with this anyway. You don't suppose that Gangnam Style, now over like 10 years ago, helped like pave the way for this? Because we have to admit, a couple years after that song, the K-pop started becoming popular here in the mid-10s. Like, do we think, maybe it had an effect?
No, it did. Everyone likes to pretend it didn't, but it ripped the door off the hinge and no one bothered replacing it and closing it off again. It definitely opened the way for the K-pop Demon Hunters.
For sure. I think, I feel like we can draw a through line from Gangnam Style all the way to now with the K-pop for sure. I can't imagine that had no effect. I get it. Gangnam Style was like a very novelty song or whatever, but like, man, that shit works.
It's all you need sometimes.
Mm-hmm. What else? What else did you like about this movie, Siskel? Or not like?
Rude. But look, I'll be nice.
Okay.
And I'll point out that Sony runs a very, very tight animation studio.
Oh yeah, let's talk animation.
And they really cook when they let them, that's honestly all the time. They pretty much let them do their work. Even when the movie isn't so great. I'm not talking about this movie. I'm talking about Hotel Transylvania.
I've never seen it.
No, it's a nice movie to look at, but it is garbage. But not K-pop Demon Hunters, where it's both. Like, did you notice all the magical girl stuff that's going on?
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the facial expression stuff, right? With the hearts for the eyes and like all the.
There's all the action sequences too, but yeah, let's talk about them, dialogue scenes too with OMG boys and the Sailor Moon hard eyes, and they're making popcorn too, I guess. I guess it's a cultural thing they do there too, and they're things that I'm not entirely aware of.
What, like?
Were there a few? I feel like there was where corn popped out, and I guess that's something because they were hot.
Oh! You're saying more like anime expressions, like back in the 90s, we do like the anime big teardrop over their entire face, or so. Oh, okay, you're talking about that shit. Yeah. I just took that as complete anime. They even sometimes when they're eating, they did like the chibi. She didn't turn totally super deformed, but like, you know what I mean, like the face and everything, like stuffing food into her mouth.
Andre, I just think it's great that everyone's working in different studios and they're all cranking out different styles now. We talked about this a little while ago. Well, not a little while ago, fairly early on in our lifespan when we talked about Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I think that was the name of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't look like that, and it's not supposed to. It looks like its own thing, and K-pop Demon Hunters looks like its own thing, which is a dumb thing to say, but things look different.
I think that's important though, because like the Disney and Pixar stuff became the zeitgeist of that, and I feel like we're finally getting away with that, getting away from that rather. Remember, I talked about this like earlier this year when what's it called kind of bombed, and I was like, maybe it's time for Pixar to have their Disney from like in like the 70s and 80s moment where 20 years, yeah, they're here and they still have some hits, but they're just not the shit anymore.
Pixar has a look and Disney has its own samey look, and it's kind of a problem. Yeah.
But I just don't like that everything looks like that. It's not that those movies look bad or I don't like that they look that way. It's just that like that's their thing. I'm glad, but it's like you said, I'm glad these other studios are doing their thing now too.
Although I thought it was kind of weird that sometimes when they weren't doing that, it was still kind of wooden at points. I don't know. But it just stood out against when they were doing the more cartoony or whatever. It's like when they were getting especially serious.
I think that's fine. I think it's going for that sort of flat anime look where it looks a bit stiff, So I think that fits. I think. I think the magical girl stuff goes past the like expressions too. I just think as a movie in general, this is extremely, we're K-pop stars by day, demon hunters by night, and they have these like completely two different outfits for it. They don't do like the transformation sequences like a Sailor Moon or a Cutie Honey or something, but I mean like they kind of do also.
But they got brand new outfits for their brand new song, Andre. Weren't they totes adorbs?
They were. That was a good music video. Okay, let me talk about that. Because obviously, as a music person, that's really what I'm here for. Because I knew I was going to like this movie, Steve, from the opening scene on the plane when they start fighting the demons, and it basically turns into a music video. The cabin of the plane just starts glowing neon all the way down the cabin, and it just turns into all the seats disappear and they're on like a red carpet runway. It looks like a music video all of a sudden. I was like, oh, we're just playing fantasy with our surroundings. I love it. I'm here for this.
Yeah, I'm like, well, they're late to the concert. I'm like, we're gonna crash this plane into the concert somehow, but like, no. We're not just crashing this plane into the concert somehow.
we're jumping out of the plane. Did they just magically float down there? Did they like use a parachute? I don't even remember. I feel like they just sort of magically.
No, there was no parachute. They they split the plane in half while fighting the demons and dove out of there with their K-pop demon hunter powers and landed onto the stage and made it totally look like they were supposed to do that.
Yeah. And
no notes.
Yeah. I mean, it was perfect. It was great. It was fucking magical, man. Magical girl. Magical. I loved it, man. I will say, though, that, and this isn't a criticism, the Demon Hunters part of K-pop Demon Hunters feels a bit tacked on. In a way, this is definitely much more about the K-pop than it is demon hunting, especially with the way they introduce it. It's just like, oh, we're just killing them now. Okay, sure.
Oh, so you're going to be the other side of the negative critic from the start, where it's like, oh, why did they have to be K-pop demon hunters? Why couldn't they just be K-pops?
Rumi and the K-pops. Yes, that's what the sequel's called.
I think it's fine that the movie's like this. If not every movie gets to be This Is Spinal Tap, right? Could you imagine them trying to do that as a cartoon?
No, absolutely not.
But like we said on the top, this was a semi-vanity, well, not a vanity project, but she wants to show off Korean culture, and when you have it be an action movie where you're fighting demons, that's another avenue for showing off more Korean culture, right? It's not so good enough.
100%. Especially with the monster choices and stuff and things that are, I don't know what they're called in Korean, but in Japanese you might say yokai or something like that, right? So, that type of stuff, Asian mythology, monsters. I think what's refreshing about this movie, and easily my favorite thing about it, is the different ways the music is presented to us. You know what I mean? Because it's not your typical Hollywood musical or Disney musical where, it's a relatively normal movie or plot, except where people just happen to sing and occasionally break out into dance and like in some set pieces. K-pop Demon Hunters could have just kept the music to the stage. It could have just been a normal ass movie where they go to the mall and write their songs and do whatever. And then on the stage, that's where you have like the music. And they didn't do that either. Like, instead, they did all of these things at once. There's stage performances. There's music video type sequences, like I said, with the plane. There's spectacle fights that turn into music videos, essentially. And then there's literal music videos, like when they had for Golden, right? That was literally just a music video that they were shooting and performing. And then they have the traditional Disney stuff where, like the boy-girl duet, like Rumi and Genu have that song where they sing to each other, But it's an actual song. It's not like just a thing for a movie. I mean, it is, but it's also like you don't need the context of the movie to think that's great. You kind of need the context of Beauty and the Beast to get, like, Be My Guest, right? I don't think that's like a song you just turn on and listen to. This music is just can exist outside of that. And I love that the movie presents it in all these different ways, Steve. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it almost makes you forget that there's okay, I know. I'm gonna turn on Siskel brain again. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I know there's no movie otherwise, but isn't it kind of weird that the rules of engagement, for lack of a better term, for how they deal with the Saja boys is kind of dumb? I mean, we saw them K-pop demon hunting in the opening. We went over that. So, clearly they're allowed to do it whenever they want. But, they don't seem to be allowed to hunt the Saja boys unless they're in public. Like, okay, they go back to their hidey hole demon world in between, but they can't seem to use their celebrity clout to go into dressing rooms or whatever, or they can't seem to just... I know there's no movie, but it's like... they're out there on stage. Like,
I get it though. I get it because, like, I mean, think about when the Saja boys are introduced. By the way, speaking of eye animations, do you like how, like,
yes,
when homegirl saw her eyes turned into abs, literally turned into abs, washboard abs. I think because, like, think about that sequence, when they perform Soda Pop in the middle of that square or whatever, because, like, homegirl was like, I don't think they're not going to hurt anybody. It doesn't look like they're doing anything bad. They're just singing. So, let's see where it goes. I feel like that line kind of set up the rest of it. It's like, well, yeah, they're demons, but they don't appear to be hurting anybody. So let's,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
I guess that's usually something you might have spent more time on a series or something instead of just a movie where, who's the real demon around here? Blah blah blah.
I don't know. I don't know. They did try to fuck him up in the men's steam room there. They did have a brawl there. That was kind of fun.
Where that old man was very, very upset that there were K-pop demon hunters in the men's bathing room.
Yeah,
incredibly outraged.
Very, very ridiculous.
Harump.
That's what his character's name is, Harump. I love that there was all this consternation about this song they were writing called Takedown, because when the Saja boys appear as a rival, it's like, oh, we're gonna take down those demons. They start literally writing the song called Takedown, the song that they're going to perform at this award show, so they beat them, because it's going to be them versus the Saja boys, because no other bands exist in this universe, apparently.
I think we saw like one other band on the chart at the award show that we don't actually see. Like we saw their name, but
when their manager was looking at their fake Spotify like numbers or something, yeah, I think I saw some other bands there too. But okay, so they're writing the song, right? and it's like this thing, and them writing the lyrics, that's like a big part of the movie. But then when the right thematic elements present themselves at the end, when they're down and out and they all need to come together they start singing this brand new song that we haven't heard yet. Right? So it's like, okay, we spent all this time writing lyrics for this, but now you just have the song that you all just happen to know the words to, like a traditional musical. Right? So again, that's not a criticism. I love that they mix and match these things.
Okay, I'm going to use my college dropout English to try and tell you how this actually does make sense.
Okay.
Because we hear Golden however many times before this, or any of their other songs, and we get a feel for who the trio are. Yes, even from the beginning of the movie, they like I said before, they open with how all of K-pop Demon Huntering and, just K-pop in general, if we're going to really expand this in real life, is all manufactured. But, there is a sense of authenticity in what they built. And if there wasn't, the kids would not like this movie. Believe me, my niece would not be obsessed with this movie if, they weren't likable.
Kids know bullshit.
Yeah.
People think kids don't know bullshit. Kids know bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
But then you look at Takedown. It's as artificial as the Saja Boys are. Like what are the Saja Boys? They slap that together and like, okay, go be a boy band to take down Hunter X. And then what's Takedown? They're just slapping down like, oh, we're gonna take you down. Go away. Like, no one in the trio actually likes Takedown. But let's say they did perform and they succeeded in what it was supposed to do. They would have sold out. They would have sold their souls. And then they would have faded out to the next group when one of those other groups that we saw on their pretend Spotify, when their Ride or Die fans decide maybe they didn't like the mean-spirited Hunter X.
That is, I mean, okay.
Takedown would have killed them.
Okay. I think you're cooking. Okay. I don't know if I totally agree, but you're onto something. Because, like, Taylor Swift's Bad Blood didn't, like, kill her career. It also didn't, like, catapult her. But, like, writing a diss track to, like, Katy Perry didn't, I mean, I think that was successful in her own right. I think so. I mean, I think sometimes it can work.
I'm just going by the rules of this movie where it feels like you have one new person show up and you can lose your spot in an instant. Like, you would have got rid of Saja Boys for a week and then one of those other bands would have took your spot.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand we're talking about the context of the movie here, but just in general, like, the way fans react to stuff, I think you're onto something. You really are. I think that can backfire. I don't know though. Takedown is kind of a banger. I kind of wish they they stuck with it. Oh, but the thematic element of it coming back on stage when she wasn't expecting it, when the two demon versions of the see, that's the payoff. That's the payoff of Takedown.
And they didn't, and you see the fans already getting confused about, like, that's not a Hunter X song though. Mm-hmm. So you already see it.
Yeah, I think it's a good song. I like it, but that's just because all money isn't good money.
We know it's on the top of your Spotify list.
You know what? Fucking what? I think I'm a basic bitch. I think Soda Pop is like the best one. Like, honestly.
I was going to say, based on our Discord, that was going to be Soda Pop.
I mean, come on, man. It's the jam. By the way, I love when the Saja Boys first appeared and they first started singing, and because remember they walked past them, they didn't know they were a boy band yet. But then they got on stage or whatever in the square and they started singing. It's like, oh, they're a boy band, and it's like, yeah. When they brushed past you earlier, they were the most main character looking motherfuckers like on the face of the planet. Like, yes, of course they are a boy band. I don't see what else they could be. They sure aren't plumbers.
What, don't they all dress like that, Andre? Like when you're going to be the plumber, you like get in your street clothes.
Yeah,
without any plumbing equipment.
Those are my everyday clothes. Walking down the street, that is my everyday hair. That looks like $1 million. Just like, walking down the street that way.
I don't know. I haven't had hair in a while, so I don't keep up with these trends. That's why we're perfect for this movie.
Steve, even when we had hair, we did not have hair like that.
No, we did not.
Not even close.
No.
I gotta say, I really gotta say, I really, really love that we live in a time where a movie like K-Pop Demon Hunters can happen naturally without whitewashing, without weird racist Asian jokes that the American executives slip in or think are a good idea, or what's happening in this movie is otherwise looked at as foreign. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, they're eating lots of Korean snacks and ramyun. Not ramen, ramyun. They have a good old-fashioned bow-off with the Saja boys. Remember on the game show thing? It's like they start bowing lower and lower, right? Like, I love that. Like, Steve, can you imagine a movie like this back in our day and how mishandled this would be? Holy shit. That would be one of those things we look back on now and be like, yee, we don't need to revisit that.
I'm trying. Okay, now that you brought all that up out loud, I'm trying to remember. My uncle used to work at a Lord and Taylor. I don't even think they exist anymore.
I've heard of it,
and I'm just saying for the slightly younger adults at home, those children. And there was, I think it was Gwen Stefani had this line of it was Harajuku where she pretended she was in Japan.
Yes,
and I'm like, I think that's what K-Pop Demon Hunters would have been if they actually tried this however long ago.
100%. It probably would have been a white girl in Korea doing some sort of, and it's not that that's inherently like bad. It's just that like that's how you always had to parse it back then. Always, it couldn't just be Koreans doing Korean stuff. It would never be allowed to be that.
And at the same time, I hate to be this person, but I feel like a bunch of people upstairs in other studios are going to take the wrong lessons from this. Because I feel like it's only a matter of time before someone else somewhere goes, we could do this too. And they put out some kind of American Girl Monster Hunters with some kind of Taylor Swift XP.
Oh no. That would just feel bad.
Obviously, they can't afford Taylor Swift, but it's obviously supposed to be Taylor Swift.
And also, the Harajuku girl stuff with Gwen Stefani, that was criticized at the time too. I remember people saying like, "This feels a little like using Asian people as an accessory," but
I don't remember it out loud at the time because slightly limited internet from around that time. But even at the time, I'm like, this don't feel right when I'm looking at the packages and things.
I didn't think much of it at the time. I really didn't. Now, obviously, I do. But yeah, but I do remember those rumblings. Again, they weren't loud. It wasn't everyone complaining about it, but it was definitely, I did hear some stuff was like, this feels a little, but that's what it was back then. But yeah, man, it's just, God damn it. There's always so much hand wringing nowadays about like what will appeal to people, and this is a movie set in Korea featuring people with Asian features. And like, maybe we don't need to endlessly fight on the internet about Ariel being black in the Little Mermaid movie or Miles Morales being some sort of fucking political statement and like getting fucking weird about Japanese games all the time. And like, maybe sometimes we should just let things find the audience that they find. K-Pop Demon Hunters found everybody because it's real characters doing real fun shit. It's like I just said, kids know bullshit. They do. And this is no bullshit. And maybe that's all we fucking need, Steve. Maybe that's all we need in this world. Maybe just make good shit and people will show up. Maybe all the other bullshit should just stop.
Man, I'd like to agree, but I'm sure there is something we're not thinking about right now that the kids are fighting about.
Probably, but I don't know. We'll find out about it months later once it gets through the grapevine to us old people.
Look, I just try to ignore all that stuff. Like, you're really going to fight about the Black Mermaid? I don't care.
Nobody who gives a fuck, dude. Nobody cares. Nobody should care. Anyway, I think that's all I got for like real say. Like, you got anything else before we start wrapping up?
It was a good movie. There, I said it.
Yes. Thank you, Siskel. I know that pained you so much, but yeah, I got it. The whole reason why I wanted to watch this is because I wanted to see if we would get what the kids love about this shit, and we absolutely did. I think we understand. I like this movie more than you, of course, because I'm into the music that way.
I knew you were going to.
Of course I'm going to. But like, yeah, dude, this is good. This is good movie.
I was watching this and I'm like, Andre is going to be coming at me with the lyrics and things for weeks.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You know, you should know by now I'm so shitty with lyrics. I don't remember shit I really don't. I'm a terrible lyricist.
Or at the very least, soda pop like GIFs, like of, you know, opening soda pop cans or some shit like on my feed all day long.
You know, if I were smarter, I would have thought like we should have opened with like us dragging a can, picking up pops. But I didn't. But I couldn't really think of like any like particular bit to go with that instead of just like us doing the ASMR of just opening the can. So I didn't mention it. But yeah. But okay. Do you think this movie, Steve, is this a flash in the pan or is this staying power? Will we be hearing about K-pop Demon Hunters for at least the next 5 years? What do you think?
I think it's here to stay.
Okay.
I mean, the real mark of these used to be how long did it take for the fakes to arrive? I'm sure you used to go to the supermarket or the drugstore where you'd find the tape or DVD that never fucking moved of the cartoons from countries that don't exist anymore, bearing names of Disney flicks that, you know, because they're technically in the public domain, you know, but once you look and you're like, oh, this isn't right. You know, I am sure we're going to find the copycat soon enough with AI. Ugh. We're in it now, Andre.
You know, when's the sequel coming out? It can't be too soon, right? I feel like next year would be too soon.
No, but it's been confirmed, and I am sure that once they have that date on lock, we will all know about it.
Yeah, because I feel like this could be a situation where it's like one day we look up and it's like, wait, there's 3 High School Musicals? What happened?
That they let get away from them because once they got to 3 and 4 or whatever they did, even the fans were getting sick of it.
Yeah, because they kept pumping that shit out. Like, I feel like before 2010, there was 3 or 4 High School Musicals.
There definitely were, and they were definitely out of control, and they definitely lost they lost well, not everything, but, you know, they lost the sight of the goal with that. So,
yeah.
For 2, at least, we will know.
So, you know, one thing I think is really cool, the side effect of this movie, rather, is that the actual singers for the characters in this movie are, like, those people are now being catapulted to fame in their own right. Like, they're getting popular. I think Rumi's voice actress just released a single under her own name. And it's like, I mean, I'm sure it's doing well because everything around this movie's doing well. So, which is great. Because I feel like the people who do this stuff behind the scenes don't get enough credit. These are, you can tell obviously by listening to this movie, these are real artists doing real shit. So I'm glad if this can launch their career, that's awesome.
I mean, I would have taken your word for it that this is someone already an album or 2 in their career. I would have taken your word for it if you told me that.
Yeah, I feel like some of these people have had solo careers already or have done music. Obviously, you're not going to make anything this good with rookies. They have their career in music, but they're not superstars. Now they're going to be, for sure. Since we are a video game podcast, allegedly.
That's right!
I mean, have you ever played any?
That's a thing we do!
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes. What kind of video games do you think we're getting for K-Pop Demon Hunters. We know they're coming. It's a Sony movie. Sony's going to have video game. I mean, whether made by them or not, who knows? But I mean, like, it's happening. But in what form?
I feel like Netflix's last gasp at, we have video games too on your cell phone and tablet. We swear, ARM will be rhythm games based on songs from this and sequels or TV shows or anything else they put out. And, you know, the children will be, you know, with cell phones and tablets will be the perfect audience.
I feel like so like if this were back in the day, right? I feel like this entire soundtrack would be DLC for like DJ Hero or something. You know what I mean? Like one of those fucking things.
Oh,
obviously
probably
not Guitar Hero, but like, yeah, I feel like it, but now I don't know what that would be. We don't really do the steppy like DDR type of games anymore. So I think it would have to be its own thing.
Tappy, I don't know. There's got to be some kind of tappy thing I'm not thinking about.
I see. So here's the thing. I feel like they should just do the obvious thing of like, why not just a beat 'em up? Because you're the girls, you could pick. It'll be a 3-player beat 'em up. You have all the demons in place for that already. You can have some killer music. The best music ever in a beat 'em up, basically. Like, why not?
Andre, do you just want something more recently created for our retro revival beat 'em up show we pitched on air however long ago?
Yeah, kinda. Because I feel like it should definitely be in that style.
I mean, I'm saying this originally to make fun of you, but like I brought up before, yesterday Hasbro did snap up the rights for a lot of this sort of thing. And you know what else they signed off on a little while ago? Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. So what you just said might not be 100% impossible.
Okay. I think that's all the K-Pop Demon Hunters I have in me, which is more than I thought I would have because I wasn't expecting to like this movie this much, but it was really good. And, you know, obviously, there's a lot of things that are made for kids that adults can enjoy, but, like, this just strictly seemed like something for kids. Like the aforementioned, like, Hotel Transylvania or whatever you don't like. But honestly, I would recommend this to any music fan. If you really like, especially pop music, you like music in that fashion and want to see really good music put to life in a movie this way, I recommend it.
You know what? Maybe just watch the movie. It's only 90-ish minutes.
Yeah, nice brisk 90 minutes. All right, I think that's about it. Let's get out of here. Steve, thank you for K-popping along with me, my little soda pop. We'll see you guys next time. Check the description of this podcast to our links on social media, and bye.
Fine Time, broadcasting worldwide.